Have you ever wondered how Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, was able to build an empire that stretches from cement to sugar, salt, flour, pasta, and even one of the world's largest oil refineries? Most people see the brand Dangote on products every day. Very few people understand the legal secret that holds it all together. The truth is, Dangote's success is not just about selling cement or producing sugar. It's about how he structured his companies legally. Without this structure, his wealth would have been fragile, exposed to risk, and unable to grow at the speed we see today. And that structure is what we call a group of companies. When we say a group of companies, what exactly does that mean? Picture a tree. The trunk represents the parent or holding company. The trunk is the strong foundation. Now, from that trunk, you see the branches spreading out in all directions. Each branch represents a subsidiary company. Some going into cement, some into food, some into energy, and so on. Each branch can grow in its own direction, but they are all connected to one trunk. That's how the Dangote Group is built. Dangote himself does not personally run sugar factories in his name or oil refineries in his personal capacity. No, each business is set up as its own company, but under the umbrella of a holding company, which is the Dangote Group. Let's break this down with real examples. There is Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC, which focuses on sugar production. There is Dangote Cement PLC, which dominates the cement market not only in Nigeria, but across Africa. There is Dangote Salt, flour mills, pasta, and of course the ambitious Dangote Oil Refinery, a project worth billions of dollars. Each of these companies is its own legal entity. They each have their own directors, their own accounts, their own compliance obligations, but they are connected and controlled under the Dangote Group. That's why you can have Dangote Cement listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange with its own shareholders and investors, while Dangote Salt or Dangote Sugar can attract different investors entirely. Yet, at the end of the day, they are still part of one big family, the group. Now, let me ask you this. Why go through all that stress? Why not just have one company called Dangote Enterprise and let it run everything? The answer is simple: protection, growth, and longevity. If all Dangote's businesses were registered as one company, imagine what would happen if that company was sued, or if it suffered losses in one area. The sugar business could drag down the cement business. The flour business could affect the oil refinery. One storm could sink the entire ship. But with a group structure, each company carries its own risk, its own debts, and its own responsibilities. If Dangote Sugar has a challenge, Dangote Cement is not automatically affected. If Dangote flour runs into crisis, Dangote Salt can still operate normally. This separation is what gives business owners peace of mind. It means your entire empire is not destroyed by one mistake in one sector. Apart from risk protection, there's also specialization. Dangote Cement is focused on construction materials. The management there is concerned with cement, plants, limestone, factories, and expansion into other African markets. Meanwhile, Dangote Sugar has its own team focused only on refining and distribution of sugar. Dangote Oil Refinery has its engineers and managers dealing with the complexities of energy. Each company is free to specialize, innovate, and grow without being slowed down by the others. That is only possible because of proper structuring. Another huge advantage is investment. Investors love clarity. An investor who wants to put money in cement doesn't want to put money in sugar or oil. By separating the businesses, Dangote can attract different investors for each company. Some investors are only interested in consumer goods. Some want cement. Some want oil. The group structure makes this possible. It also allows some companies to be listed on the stock exchange while others remain private. For example, Dangote Cement PLC is publicly listed, but not every Dangote company is. That flexibility comes from the group structure. Now let's get practical. How do you actually register a group of companies in Nigeria? Step 1 is to register a holding company. This is usually the parent company and it acts like the trunk of the tree. For example, you could register XYZ Holding Limited. This is the company that will own and control the subsidiaries. Step 2, you register subsidiary companies. Each new business line gets its own company. For example, XYZ Cement Limited, XYZ Food Limited, and XYZ Logistics Limited. Each of these companies is separately incorporated at the Corporate Affairs Commission, but the shares are owned by the holding company. Step 3, you decide the shareholding structure. The holding company must own majority or full shares in the subsidiaries. That way, it has legal control. Step 4, each company gets its own board of directors and management. The parent company oversees strategy, but the day-to-day operations are managed separately. Step 5, you must stay compliant with CAC regulations. And if any of the companies are public, with the Security and Exchange Commission rules as well. This means annual filings, audited accounts, and proper record keeping. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say you register XYZ Holding Limited. That's your parent company. Then you register XYZ Cement Limited. If XYZ Holdings owns 80% of the shares in XYZ Cement, then XYZ Holdings is in control, but XYZ Cement is still its own legal entity. If XYZ Cement gets sued, XYZ Foods and XYZ Logistics are untouched. That's how you build protection. This is exactly what Dangote has done. It's the reason he can take bold steps in oil while keeping his cement business secure. It's the reason his empire is diversified yet stable. So what's the lesson for entrepreneurs? Don't run all your businesses under one registration. Don't open a supermarket, a transport company, and a bakery all under XYZ Enterprises. You are exposing yourself to unnecessary risk. Start with a holding company and register separate subsidiaries. As you grow, add more subsidiaries. That way, you are creating your own group, your own umbrella, your own future Dangote Group. In conclusion, Dangote's story is not just about being rich. It's about being structured. It's about building in a way that protects, expands, and lasts for generations. The question is not whether you want to be the next Dangote. The real question is, how are you structuring your own business? Are you exposing yourself to risk, or are you laying down the foundation of an empire that can outlive you? That's the power of a group of companies. And that's the legal secret behind Africa's biggest conglomerates. If you like this video and you want to be a part of this legal family, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel.